was the latest. So, Russ, I think today is your turn for minutes.
Next meeting.
I think
Oh,
it's
take it this time.
yeah.
Oh, right, no, I got a pen.
Oh, do you have a pen?
I just want to write.
Just turn your minutes over.
I have some line paper. But,
Yeah, okay.
and
I didn't take it.
I even know one paper.
so
That's it, it says.
it says
It says Russ.
Minute taker flip.
that's just the, I guess, that's the account.
Was that the
That's
last
why I'm
time?
saying that.
Did you take the minutes of last meeting? What?
I don't.
It says minute taker on the agenda for tonight's agenda.
Yeah, that means.
That means I'm taking minutes.
That's-
Oh, you are?
Yeah, that's why it says clip on it.
That's what I have in my notes.
Let's
But I'm
move
sorry,
on.
I could have been wrong.
Well,
Don't
I
bring me
just-
up two sets.
Sorry.
The minutes they would have a different result.
Okay.
Clip, sorry.
Okay, I'll correct my minutes, I got another correction.
I might have been wrong. That was me that put that down.
I just,
Well, if it's wrong, then I'm not supposed to take the minutes.
Did you take them last time?
Yeah.
no, you did,
Who took the
Oh, I
minutes?
think I had
I
taken,
did.
oh yeah, you did, and then I took them before that.
Well, look at here's the minutes, right in the meeting last time, it shows the order.
Well, that's the order I
Yeah,
wrote
mine.
down, it's pretty
Well, that's-
random.
Oh, yeah, but Rick.
Oh, I have an order.
Oh, do you? All right,
Yes.
let me get that correct.
Let me, well, actually, maybe Russ could put it in the minutes.
Well, no,
Well,
I
whoever.
know that wasn't me because I.
Yeah, let me look that up.
Okay.
You guys can carry on while I look that up. Okay.
And so take a moment, review the minutes, and then I'll take a motion
What's the city fueling station?
accordingly.
That's what?
What's the city fueling station?
They're putting in a fueling station down at Public Works. Or just a car lock station, so just for city
City truck.
departments, so police, fire, Public Works.
So we don't have to put my.
Okay, I have the order.
Okay, got it, please.
Russ, Britt, Mike, Cliff, and is Jeff out of rotation?
But actually,
Yeah.
Mike should be taking this. And Cliff's on the list, so we'll have to switch it.
Did Mike take them last time?
Yeah, Mike
So it should be Cliff, yes.
Okay,
The agenda is clear.
Well, that's actually the way it was.
And then next would be, because is Jeff no longer,
Yeah,
are we,
you do not re-up.
okay, so, Russ will be next, yeah, Russ will be
Yeah.
January, I'll be February. Which is exactly how it was this year. That's it.
I didn't have to January.
So we have
I wouldn't have to January.
Russ,
Over this
Britt,
year.
Cliff, Mike.
No, Russ, Britt, Mike, Cliff.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you're putting Cliff at the end here. Yes.
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, press red.
What?
I move we close,
See, that, you have to take-
move we close
you
the
don't have to
meeting.
take-
Oh,
We would have
no.
said all the meetings I go to.
I thought- Isn't that the business we need to take care of?
He's great. You know, it was really easy when I joined the group, Cliff took the minutes all the time. I thought that was really nice.
We appreciate it very
I
much.
said,
I
now that
appreciate
we
it
got
anyway.
this.
I have to say, though, that
Pretty nice meeting.
if somebody was reading these and didn't know what
Oh, yeah,
they're
we're gonna
talking
go.
about,
Yep, that's all.
there'd be a lot of people running the beer library.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it should be maybe saying hearings on the group of at the library, or group of at the libraries.
No, I think they're calling it the beer library.
That's the name of it.
Okay, is that it?
Yeah.
That's the name of it.
Okay, well,
That
then
was the
forget it.
project name. I don't know what the, that doesn't
You're
necessarily
right.
match. That's what will be
Yeah.
on the list, but yeah.
You just took away.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was what we took the other day.
The thing I would ask though, it seems like there were a couple other points here last meeting that I might have missed, so if anybody comes up with any other items.
It was a pretty quick meeting.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I think Bruce said something about the county meeting.
Last time.
This was.
He wasn't here.
He wasn't.
Yeah.
He's full of your change.
I don't know.
Okay.
Let's keep writing those meetings, those minutes.
First, we gotta get a lot of.
So I'll take a motion to, regarding minutes, if anyone's willing, as written.
Yeah, I don't think we actually had to
That's
change anything, and we went back to the way it was listed.
The only
You could
thing
just-
we
you
changed,
Said
I
Jeff
guess,
is out,
just
take Jeff
the,
out.
Yeah,
That's correct.
That's correct.
notify me some spelling error.
I need your help out there.
Got nothing others.
so I think it's in my, all right, with that one correction, it will be rest good. And then, second,
Before we go on, I asked a question, I'm reading the minutes, and I wasn't there. The person's planning to do improvements to the log road, both north and south, of 13 foot, are those improvements? We're talking
well, and the next line says Jerry will inform us of the scope of work and schedule in the future. So, you know,
Okay.
Emma has some.
It was associated with the, like, paving repairs. Or,
Yeah.
Paving.
Okay.
and
I have an
We'll come back to
I have an update.
Totally the logging road side of South.
Okay.
Is what we were
Okay.
kind of getting the.
Okay, we'll come back tonight.
Yeah,
Or
I have-
I'll bring the subject up again.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe
Oh.
later.
And
Okay. I just want to know if I missed something, apparently I did.
there's a T.
Oh, somehow Russ, Cliff, and Jeff all scored the double letter at the end. It's okay.
Yeah. Okay,
I'm just gonna
and
get-
I will make those corrections.
No,
It's correct on the top,
Right,
but
yeah.
not on the bottom.
And I'm going to correct just IVs, IVY.
just Brit, not Brit, but just Brit.
Just, or Brit.
Oh, he's really old, isn't he?
All right, if there's a second? Anybody? Second, and anyone opposed? Otherwise in favor? Okay, thank you, and we will proceed. And again, thank you, Mike, and thank you, Cliff.
Mindy,
Yes,
so I'm thinking that I'm just gonna make the corrections that I have here. Do I give that to you?
yeah, just email it to me. Okay.
Is that the way it always works?
Yeah, and then I submit it.
Oh.
And now let's, yeah, can you shoot me an email?
Sure.
All righty, and no public comment, it looks like tonight. So we'll proceed to any new business. And continuing old business, staff and council update.
Yes, I have a couple of things to update on. First is, we did discuss last meeting about Jeff is no longer on the
Yeah.
committee, and if we have a vacancy, and I talked to our city reporters, and the website is actually up to date. And so we do, in fact, have a vacancy on the committee, which, yes, at the term ends. So just for everybody to know, yeah. We have that vacancy, and you can find all that information in whatever are curious. Regarding the logging road, I talked to Jerry today about it. And so it sounds like he is planning to put into the budget, just kind of patchwork improvements where the trail and the walking roads kind of in. Just kind of where trees are kind of growing up, and that sort of stuff. He said it's a park's expense, so it's really good for the general fund. So they'll put it into the mix for the budget, which is nice. There's a lot of stuff that is there, so it's not much. But I was curious if you all have, he didn't specify where, we're talking about the existing walking road. He didn't, off the top of his head, have any like key areas that he knows of, but if you all have certain areas that you concerned about.
And did he, well, this.
Yeah, yeah.
He was at the press meeting.
I was at the
Okay.
first meeting, and the important thing about the first meeting was we spent a lot of time talking about the capital improvements and what they're going to be doing. What are they going to do in 2 years? What are they going to do in 5 years? What are they going to do in 7 years? And I brought up, well, I didn't bring up it. I said I would bring up this meeting. I had a little discussion with the chair there after the meeting. I was at the fairgrounds of the county, and they had a booth back in August. They had 2 people come up to me complain about how rough riding a bike on the logging road was. And I thought, oh, it is rough. And so today, I rode it, and they just blew all the leaves off the north end. So the north end from Territorial up is pretty good shape, but between Territorial up to Township, it is getting kind of nasty. And then it's better if you go beyond Township. But if you're talking repaving, that's not what Jerry has in mind with patchwork repairs. And what I would suggest is we write something to Jerry and say they need a capital improvement. And he's talked to us before about repaving streets, how he runs it. It is a way of testing if a street needs paving. And I think, yeah, and I think that that should be done, and we should get at the trough, because when it's really bad, it'll be years before we get there. So we need to get on a capital improvement plan with the logging road, not just patchwork.
Okay, Bruce, I agree, I think it would be really good, to write a letter and have this written down and send this over to the public works kind of as a letter from the committee, if everyone is comfortable with that. I'm not sure.
Maybe you want me to draft it, and I'll send it to you, and you can then send it out, you can copy paste and send it to the committee, so you don't have to write it.
Yeah. And when do they have to have the capital improvements budget?
I don't know, but it's,
Budget is well, so the budget cycle is, our fiscal years are July to July. So I believe there's some time, so I think that Bruce could write the letter and send it out slightly prior before the next meeting, and then we could discuss it and kind of finalize it in January.
you want to do it that way, or do you want to just get it written and send it off?
No, I think we need to be,
Okay.
I'd like to have it in the record that we have talked about it, and we want the
Done.
letter and everything.
Yeah, I'll do it that way.
And just to clarify, so what you're talking about first is something more extensive.
Oh, yeah.
Extensive than just the patchwork, so it would be in lieu of the patchwork.
No, the patchwork needs to be done, as, you got a chuck hole or something.
So this
Fill
is
it.
something further in the future.
No, we're talking essentially either repaving, or the minimum would be recoating the
Right,
streets.
so that would be kind of longer.
And a major capital expense.
Right.
We're not talking, $200 of asphalt being thrown down.
And in the meantime, will
You're
the
talking maybe
patchwork
$500,000.
actually, would the patchwork actually help with the tree revision?
I don't know
Pretty
what
soon
that's
we're
what
kind of-
you
And just make like a big
Right.
bump over it, because there was a bunch.
So today, I wrote it just purposely with that in mind, saying, okay, what are we gonna do
There's
here?
so many times when you find yourself veering way to the left to avoid this.
I can avoid the roots, the occasional roots, but the whole thing is rough. You can't avoid it. You just either ride or go someplace else.
And especially if you're having to veer out of your lane to avoid.
Well, also it's it's a danger that puts the city at least a liability because, if we have a public, which we don't want to close the trail, as we might do, but if we have something that's not taken care of, and it's city property, then the city can do liable. I suppose it'd be like having a swing set with the crossbar is cracked and it comes crashing down. It's kind of the same thing.
So next month, when I go to Parks and Rec, do I report back, like in fact, we're going to write this draft letter and tell them what we're thinking. Is that acceptable? Hey, you want them on your side,
Yeah.
and they can run with it, not run with it,
Yeah.
and we can then, when we have the letter written, we can push it again. Sometimes it's general pressure relentlessly applied.
Yeah.
And so the more times you do it, bring it up. So I don't know when this whole road needs to be repaved, or half of it needs to be repaved. But, it's 5 years, 7 years. This is what the capital improvement part of the budget is about.
And, unfortunately, even if it's on the CIP, it's not.
Oh, I know, but that's the first step.
So it's gonna be in 5, and then 10. But yeah, that'd be good. Bruce, I'm just curious, at parks, were they focused on kind of like new parks and getting new parks on the CIP, or they're focused on like repairs and maintenance of existing?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
Both,
Would you care about the lucky route?
Yeah, and kind of keep going on a lot of the Parks and Rec meeting and get that done.
Yeah, we can.
Okay, so one of the other things they talked about was exercise pads. They're going to put an exercise park up on one off of Township. What's the name of the park there? By the junior high. Or the old,
Yeah, for park.
Yeah.
not for a park.
Or whatever, there's no park right
With
there.
the.
By Ackerman?
Sweet.
The one by
Yeah.
Ackerman?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I
they're-
don't know what the park's called, but I know.
They're
Yes.
putting-
And if I heard it, I'd go, yes.
Yeah, anyway, they're going to put a large exercise park there, but they're talking also about doing segmented, little increments, exercise stations on the logging road. And so I'd like to go back to them and say, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Please do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
I
Okay.
think so. That's good.
okay.
Possibly there's a way to like gain momentum by combining the two,
Yeah.
if you combine the two into one project, maybe there's momentum to gain.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, the exercise pad they're putting on is like having a pull-up station or a sit-up station. And that's, when I talk about the capital improvement, that's a whole other,
Yeah, but also they'll feel more invested in it too, if they have parks equipment.
Yeah.
Make it more like a park for them.
And more the more it's utilized.
A nice pathway will improve the curvature and
Yeah.
the exercise area.
Yeah.
and I have one
So
thing,
never
really
talk about
off the
the
subject
legacy
we we're
park?
talking about, you want me to do
Is
that,
that
so this
next
Parks and Rec was
Yeah.
the
Yeah. That's what-
Yeah.
walking road in Lowell.
Well,
Oh, yeah, I was
Sure.
gonna mention it, but you can.
go ahead.
Do it now or do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
The other,
they want to put the exercise pad at Legacy Park?
Legacy Park's the large park,
Yes.
the big pad.
Yeah.
So that's.
But they want to do little
like
small
that.
pads
On-
segmented along.
On 13. Is one-
Legacy is on,
No, Legacy's on 13.
oh, is it on 13?
About 13th and Ivy.
Okay, it's Legacy, I'm sorry, I was on the wrong street.
But
I was searching for.
But I
Yeah.
still have the right park in my head.
Yeah, I had it in my head, right? Legacy, anyway, it starts with an
Oh,
L.
that's it, yeah, that's a busy part. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's fine, I think they're doing good things, and that, at the end, Potter told me, he addressed me and said, oh, by the way, I've been contacted by essentially our equivalent of Bikes and Pads in Molalla about how we what we've done with the logging road and the Caruso connection. And so anyway, they apparently want to get their logging road made into a walkway. So anyway, I said, okay, that's great, but they should go through the chair, Mindy. And I don't know how that jives with what you're saying, or does it jive?
Well,
with
I
that?
was just gonna say that Brian told me he talked to them and that they're in the very early stages of kind of exploring it and seeing,
Does he have a name or anything we can?
He talked to some staff member of the city that he should be able to provide. I can connect you guys via email. And
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It'll be
Because he
interesting.
said he would, but he hasn't.
He has a lot of demons.
I know. He has lots of things on his plate.
Yeah,
He does.
And
But, yeah,
and
we
he
can,
sent them the plan, so they do have our plan.
okay.
right?
Yeah. But I will connect you guys.
Because that would increase their park infrastructure hugely and get people off of the highway.
Of course, in Malala, I think they call it the Malala Forest Road.
That's fine.
Yeah, I'd rather have them use a different name.
Isn't that what it's even called?
Well, that's what it
Some about
was.
it through
That's what
Camry,
it-
that's also what it's called.
Yeah.
too, right?
On any map, it's called that, yeah.
Well, that's what the whole thing
And
is
that's why
called.
we kind of,
But the logging road is a Candy Park name.
so, oh. So anyway, I think that's very great news from Malala and, might help build some nice synergy on a complementary projects, so.
Puts a smile on my face
Mhm.
that we're not the only ones pushing for having something done on that.
Well, I look at it as if they have that established, then we start the synergy of psychotourism, or we make an easy connection. And the back roads are good.
Yeah, the
Once you
back
get,
roads are
once you get
good.
off of Ivy,
Yeah,
and, I think it will help.
I just wonder if they're gonna be able to be more successful at getting there and going sooner without the
Depends on the residents and how much.
the barriers that you have.
Yeah, I mean, for us, it's people who live outside the city telling the city, don't use your land,
Right.
and we want a gated community down here.
So it'll be interesting to see if they
With
have,
your
'cause
road.
the road runs right by people's property on
Yeah.
Malala
Oh, yeah.
too, right?
Yeah.
It's the same, a similar.
I mean, no.
sort of business.
It,
and,
it runs right through
But
the
I
town.
mean, how many, I've ridden along that a few times, I mean, there's a lot of property there with no houses. Farmland on some,
But
both
in the
sides.
city, it's still right
Oh,
through
in
the
the
city.
city,
It used to be a road
Okay.
crossing on, as we ride out,
you're talking about the.
yeah,
The south.
north end.
You can just figure it.
They have a junior high.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit beyond that junior high. There used to be a road crossing, and if you look down there, you can
Oh.
see it's still there.
Well, people can walk on it, but there's gates across it.
Right.
right.
Exactly.
Mhm. And then it goes all the way up to, I get 213 and 211 confused, but is that 213 that goes through
And you have
town?
some mill down there.
And so on the other side, that's where the majority of the road is, and it goes all the way out of town,
Right.
almost,
Yeah.
not quite to Cemetery Road, but
On 213 is where they built houses on
Right. Right. That portion's been built up, but
Yeah.
it's the portion in town, I think, that are interested.
I'm not, no. 213 is,
Silverton and Oregon City Highway.
yeah, but it goes right through the center of town. It's not the one that just goes by the dairy freeze or whatever. You know how there's,
That's not 213, what you're talking about.
two, you mean the one that goes by the new part of Malala and the old part of Malala?
Yes.
That's 211.
Because 213
No,
is where
that's
they
you.
built the roundabout.
Okay. So
Which is the one that goes from Malala to Silverton.
if
I mean,
we're
not Malala
going out
to Woodburn.
to, Emma's
Gonna
gonna,
clarify this
Is
for
this
us.
Malala?
yes, thank you.
Right, this is Canby, this is Malala?
Yeah.
170.
No, 213.
213, but 170, isn't that the one that goes?
170?
That's Malala.
So this is the city of Malala.
And then
So-
170 goes over to Silverton.
Yeah,
I'm not Silverton.
No,
And-
213 goes to
Woodburn.
Silverton.
Yeah, so the roundabout is right here, I believe.
yeah, so that's not what
This is not the most
And
up-to-date
that's-
aerial imagery.
that's 213 or
Yeah,
211?
yeah, 213.
That's 213?
Should be.
So I'm talking about 211, sorry. My
Yeah.
bad.
Oh, further down.
So 211, so, okay. The logging road comes through,
You see that green diagonal of trees right there? You know, I think that's it.
yeah, and then it kind of comes into here.
Be careful. You want me to exit this?
You want that to just get rid of that part of it?
And we'll let
Right.
you-
Oh, all right.
And the former
There we go.
chair of the Malala River Watch is Bill Taylor, and I know him pretty well. I don't know if he knows anything about it, but maybe I can kind of twist his arm to find
And
out
also
more.
help them encourage them.
He does write
Yeah,
stuff. So let me see what he knows, and if he, he could advocate, join that group or
Mhm.
something.
Is it this
So-
lower area that is?
this is what's built on, that you're not
Yeah.
going to be able to get anything.
Uh-huh.
So, but going down this way,
Oh, I see,
so
like this
move the
area
map
here.
up, and
Oh,
so
cool.
it comes, where does it come through? Somewhere in here?
I don't think so.
No, I think it's right there.
This
Yeah, right
is
there.
the
That right there.
Right there.
This is, okay.
Go back up a little higher.
So-
Where's the junior high?
Is this it?
I think that's
Isn't, this is the junior high.
Is it?
So yeah, you're right.
That's it,
You guys are right.
yeah.
So
That-
anyway,
that's
but
all-
now move this up, because I want to, so it's all of this,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
if they open that up,
Mhm.
Well,
keep going, it goes all the way out.
Is it
Out here.
Is it
Anyway.
now blocked off? or is it
So
In sections.
drive?
there's a couple
And-
places where you have to.
Sections?
it
So
goes
we're-
out to their public works, parking, goes out to their public works thing way out there.
Yeah, Ryan had mentioned that this subdivision unfortunately is kind of like this, I think.
Yeah, so
So
they
they'll have
obviously
to
would,
jog a little here,
Yeah.
but, they got so much of the rest of it.
Yeah,
yeah. So,
you can ride most of the way on that road. You just have, there's gates every now and then, you gotta take your bike around.
Yeah.
And do they own, do we know, how
they still own it,
they own it?
as I understand
Huh,
anyway, but they just haven't really used it as a park.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're only talking about that little section,
Yeah.
then that's not a big deal. But if they're
Yeah.
actually talking about all the way out of town,
I wonder
that
what they're
whole
saying.
rest of it, that's gonna be
Yeah,
a
so
big
this
deal.
part's not in there.
So,
Well,
yeah,
it'll be exciting to hear what they're saying.
Yeah.
so the exciting discussions. So, yeah, I'd love to find out who our contact over there is, and then maybe we can make sure we help foster whatever.
Yeah.
Connect the right people, isn't that half the battle?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And also, maybe we'll talk about it at the county meeting too.
Scott doesn't know about it.
Yeah, so I think
I'll tell him, I'll send him that.
that'll be.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so back to, if that's,
Yeah, I'm done.
I'll hand it back to Emma.
I have one last thing, which is a little bit of an agenda item. and that, for the last, project advisory team meeting for the comp plan TSP, the existing conditions memo for the TSP was prepared. And so I have here, everyone should have a packet with maps. If not, there's something in the table. And so this is what they put together of saying, what is the existing conditions for bike and ped. And then also the level of stress. I thought that Cliff already caught a few that you guys might know, be able to ground truth these maps and know there's some differences between what's shown here and what's on the ground. And then this level of service, they have a formula that goes into it, but I think it would be also interesting to hear your all's opinion of, the formula says one thing, but as, frequent riders, do you feel different, or, as you walk around town, do you feel differently than what the map is portraying on a certain street?
Do you find Holly high stress?
No.
I don't either.
I think it all depends on who the rider is.
Okay.
Okay? You and I have done a lot of riding, on highways and stuff, and so Holly's not a big deal to us. But if you take the average citizen who lives in Canby, who isn't, their idea of a big bike ride is 10 miles from town.
Mm-hmm. Five.
That could be more stressful for them. And so level of stress is, it's so dependent on the person.
Yeah, you make a good point, Bruce. And I think, at least for this memo, it is good to assume, a more, not necessarily an avid rider. But,
Right, because we
what
wanna get more
would,
people out there
exactly, if you lived right off Territorial and Holly, would you be comfortable riding your bike to the grocery store if all you do is ride in town? Would you be comfortable getting to the store on a bike? And
I find South Ivy a more high-stress route than Holly.
And can you,
And it's right enough for riding.
can you give is there specific reasons why,
High speed.
High speed, so high speed of travel, of car travel?
Car, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they start going, when they pass 13th, they start going out of town south, they start speeding up there, and they're way past the speed limit, many of them,
Mhm.
not everybody. And then coming in, they're coming in at 55 and they don't slow down.
So,
There's no
and
bypass there.
pedestrian level of traffic stress. How do they measure that? I'm curious, and I'm sure they have it
They
somewhere.
have a formula, I'm not sure, I assume, it accounts for if there's sidewalks, if the sidewalks are on both sides, sidewalk connectivity,
Yeah.
You don't know the stress level.
speed limit of road. It's probably very similar to.
The Holly section out here, north of Territorial, you end up with some really dense fog in there this time of year through February, March.
Mhm.
And I'm glad we have some sidewalk there at least now. But there's a little sight distance thing here, and I kind of agree with that yellow section on Holly there, just for now.
Are you talking about pedestrian or bike?
Pedestrian, because
Well,
it says
I agree.
pedestrian here,
Well, I agree on the pedestrian.
yeah.
It also depends which side of the street we're walking on, because this is the new section, there's a sidewalk there, not on the
Yeah.
other side.
And I was saying,
And
at
I
least we have
I think
some
bike,
sidewalk.
as far as biking goes, if there's bike lane on one side, not on the other,
Yeah,
so it depends on all the.
and you have that sight distance thing, because you have that little
Mhm.
rise and the
Mhm.
fog in the dark, with street lights, that's what bothers me. And a lot of commuters going out to the nurseries and farms and pedestrian and bike.
So what we don't have is a good north-south route from downtown, from 99E. Because Holly isn't continuous through there, and Ivy isn't really, doesn't have a bike lane continuous. So one of those should have a bike lane that goes all the way through.
Yeah.
And does that bring us back to bike facilities, the next map?
Yeah,
Well, what they're
I'm
saying
kind
here,
of
there's
just-
supposed to be, on either, there's supposed to be a bike lane says on both sides. More from 99. According to the bicycle facility.
Which page are you looking at?
Bicycles facility.
figure 8 you're looking at.
It's at the last
word.
Bike networks.
It says bike,
Figure
blue is bike lane both sides, and
Yeah.
it's showing Ivy is bike lane both
So you're on
sides.
figure
Entire
eight.
length of
Figure
Ivy.
eight.
I think that's what I'm on.
And so there's not bike lane on both sides on any part of South Ivy,
Well,
or,
no, I think, well, now where they've been
Are we talking about-
repaving,
Talking about South Ivy or North Ivy?
well, both, they're showing both. I'm trying to remember, I don't ride on Ivy that much, so I can't remember exactly.
I do it in North Ivy, there's,
North Bike lanes both sides,
Lane all
yeah.
the way at you.
Yeah, Holly, it's showing no bike lanes,
right. There's no bike lanes.
which is, that's the one you come in across the ferry on Holly.
Mhm.
And then you hit, of course, there's no bike lanes, so you get the territory linear if you're coming from the ferry. So then if you knew what you were doing, you go down territorial to Ivy then, apparently, or to the bike path.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not easy, every once in a while you see people stranded, they don't know where to go, they're riding down 99 or they don't know if they could go down to Township and be easier to go around. Because we don't have.
And as far as connecting communities, getting over to, it's too bad Aurora and Molalla are kind of as difficult to get to as they are.
It's hard, unless you know what you're doing to get around from one side of Canby to the other. I mean, you can do it, but.
Yeah.
Yes. And sometimes where there's no bike lane, there's no traffic either.
yeah, and it looks like they're only showing, they're not showing kind of what they call local, so they have different classifications for street types, right? So like local is the lowest stress, like least travel, just like a residential street that is not a through street. It looks like they're only showing collectors and
Yeah.
arterials, so they're not even showing local
Well, maybe
streets.
showing also where there's.
But,
Industry.
yeah. But even if it's kind of hard to tell in the paint, there's not a ton of continuity of those local streets between a lot of subdivisions, like down here, So that's something else to consider.
And, what's a little bit shocking is how little around Grant and Eccles, that there's not very good facilities through there. I mean, look at all that red.
Can you orient me towards where them,
What's that?
what area you're talking about?
I think this is Eccles right
Oh,
here,
cool.
maybe.
I think you're right.
And
I think that's nice.
so
for
we
you.
have,
Yeah.
Grant Street and that, and nothing coming this way or that way.
I'm amused by the fact that on figure 8, it shows that the logging road has bike lanes on both sides.
Yeah, and it doesn't show the
Because it doesn't have bike lanes.
the bike lane above or
There is a
the trail.
I'm gonna give you a can of spray paint.
It doesn't show the trail extension either, but it's.
But they are showing on,
Maybe they can
around,
make another,
around Grant, they're showing that as low stress.
They're just using.
Of course, it's
Yeah.
not low stress when
Right.
school gets out and there's a million cars there. Wherever it is.
Mhm.
Those tracks should be where a 8-year-old should be able to ride at a bike lane.
well, no, you're never gonna.
And even around like the post office and the police station, and you have the, some of the little park things out there.
An 8-year-old
We
or
don't
an
have
80-year-old.
Once they get their hands on an electric bike, they'll go fast.
They will.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is it.
So, what areas do, I would propose, circle, a couple spots on that map that you think were,
Which one?
figure 8, where we're really lacking. And let's kind of look together at where.
But yeah, Eccles, there's no bike lanes. And, they should have safe routes for kids to school. So that should be a spot there.
Mindy, can I backtrack for a
Sure.
second? So I think this is a good exercise, and this is definitely something we should do. But I just kind of want to first make sure we're ready to move on past the, for the purpose of this memo is to correctly portray existing conditions. And so I try to make sure nobody else has any comments about what the existing conditions.
Oh, okay, because you might have some other.
Yeah, just so
Okay.
so I can provide those comments now to the consultants so they can
No, let's see.
update this specific memo. Future memos will address, we think
Yeah.
a bike lane or
Yeah.
a street should continue here. And I think we should discuss that tonight while we're looking at this. I just want to make sure that I have the, everyone's comments on these specific.
Existing, are they accurate?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
This is a lot of information to make comments on.
So I was gonna say,
Yeah, I don't think we should.
if folks
Do it.
wanna take it home,
Yeah.
the only thing is that you have to email it, you have to email your comments to me directly, you can't discuss your comments via email. But if you wanna take it home and look and say, hey, I have whatever, these comments, I noticed X, Y, and Z is not correct. I can gather all those comments and send those to the consultants.
Let me be clear on something though.
Yeah.
Okay, so I understand the sidewalk network, that's just, and it's just, it's not showing every street. What's the level where they decided to, we need to know where there's no sidewalks one side or both sides, because there's a lot of places,
Yeah.
housing developments that I'm sure that aren't in here and why they selected these to do. That's one thing.
Yeah.
I don't know that I could really comment on that because there's so many potential sidewalks. And then stress level.
You see one error.
Yeah. What is
Haynes
it?
Road, from O'Neill Corner to the end of it, there are no bike lanes even on one side.
Yeah, it says no
It doesn't
bike lane.
show.
It says no bike lane.
No, it says, it's dashed.
What?
Really? I see.
That's
that
an urban
shows
growth
the
boundary
yellow.
dash.
Oh, that's what it is. Oh,
It's
Yeah,
red.
the black.
It's a black dash,
that, I got it.
not a
Okay.
blue dash.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we can circle back to, we can, folks can take this home, and I can email out a version too, just in case somebody loses it on the way home. And we'll say, comments provided within the end of next week?
Okay.
How does that sound? And let me see what date that is. So comments by December 8th. And I'll send out-
December what?
Yeah,
So,
December what?
oh, December 8th.
Okay.
so not this Friday, the following.
So then the objective is to more or less check the accuracy of what's portrayed.
Yeah, and just, for the bike ped, I'm not saying like you need to go out and walk the
Right,
streets, just
right.
if you know, oh, I
Just
live on this
obvious,
street
yeah.
and or I walk, this is on my daily route and I know that it says there's sidewalk on one side, but it's really two sides. Cliff caught a couple of those already. And then.
And probably particularly to the traffic stress things,
Yeah.
if you see an area that you think might be,
Doesn't quite match.
yeah, it doesn't quite match up with your experience, that you think you might be more of a concern or less of a concern, that might be worth commenting on.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, I get it. Yeah.
And then I see, I don't know when you email it too, so you can zoom in.
Yes, yeah, and these are, I'll try and see maybe in the next week if I
Yeah.
can get better quality ones.
Because I get this, I always want to go.
Yeah, I want to get on the computer and
Yeah.
get Google Map up and,
Blow it up.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
blow it
up.
I can send you, that map thing that we were just looking at for Malala. I can send you the county's, online mapping, and it shows, like, you can see it with the tax lots pretty easily. It's easy to compare. That's usually what I do, of like, what street am I looking at? I can't tell. I use that because it's simpler than Google sometimes.
Great.
Thanks, Emma.
Anything else on?
I think that's all I have for today. Sorry, I kind of sprung the map exercise on you all.
Oh, no, that was great. And also, there was the comprehensive plan, the meeting. I know if you went, and Bruce.
Oh, you are all there? There's so
Yeah.
many people I didn't see.
So, wow, what a turnout, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
great turnout. A lot
And
of
when is
people.
the next meeting?
I don't think they have a date set yet.
Oh, okay.
But they did commit to redoing basically the same meeting for people who didn't have a chance.
Didn't have a chance.
We were just overcrowded. So if anyone's interested, it was a pretty cool meeting where there was like a mapping exercise and you basically got to put different types of land uses on a map.
Emma?
Yeah.
You have the website they can go to, and they can map what they think.
Oh, that's true, yeah, they have a
Yeah.
website here.
So-
Yeah, I did this.
But
earlier.
You did, okay,
But I
yeah,
found that I couldn't clear it,
you could not,
no.
oh, interesting.
And, I mean, how do you clear it once you get into it? I mean, first of all, I went into it and there was stuff in there that I never put in.
Well, maybe it's I wonder if it's.
I figured you just are adding.
Yeah, I wonder.
So you're
if
supposed to grab and drop.
I wonder if it's a cumulative map. Maybe.
I have no idea.
That was nice.
But Bruce, if you want to send me an email just briefly describing it, I can send it to the folks who are managing the map, because I'm not sure. Yeah, so.
I mean, I would like to start with a clean map, but I start and,
Oh, I see. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it looks like it's everybody's adding to it, and you're seeing what everyone's adding.
oh, that's what's going on there.
Yeah. That's what it seems like. I wonder, so I don't want to do it if you can't do it.
That's really messy. That's not,
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing afterwards that, but I don't know. I just want to say, this is what I think.
Yeah. If you put it in an email, I can share it. It is a little clunky.
Yeah, and as more people do it, the worse it's gonna be.
Yeah.
It's becoming really cluttered.
So TBD on the date of that meeting, I'm not sure, but they're looking at larger venues to be able to host everybody for upcoming meetings. And then there will be another meeting about like the next set of information that they want input on, which I'm not sure what they're kind of bringing to that next meeting, I'm not sure.
Now, I have the website, but they don't. You want to send out
Sure.
a
Yeah,
website for everybody else if
Yes.
if they're interested.
I will send
They
out
all
the
shake their head, no,
This
You
one,
have a website?
yeah,
I have, you have a bookmark,
I found it.
cultivating Camden, yeah.
I posted it on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
oh, cool. Thank you, Britt.
She did this from last
She
year.
did.
She's
Ah. You're all over it, huh?
Mhm. And so keep in mind, you can make comments about parks and trails in there and also, so encourage your friends and family and anyone who's talking your ear off about anything, just point in that direction. And otherwise, any hot spots anyone wanted to mention tonight? I think we've all been out of town more than in town. Otherwise, outreach, Britt.
Well, I kind of gave my update. I posted,
Yeah.
I posted that, and then I feel like there was something else. I posted that I can't. I feel like there were two postings. Anyway,
Do we have to wait for the city to tell us that the Jeff spot's vacant and then seek applicants?
It is already posted
It's,
as an opening.
It's already, yeah, it's already posted, like, it's already on the bike ped page. I
Okay,
don't know if it's like, I'm not sure where they advertise,
So
but
here's-
the answer is, I guess, we don't have to wait for them, we can start,
You
so
see
we
it on the
could.
bike
Yeah.
is there, what?
it's on the bike ped page.
Oh, not on the,
sorry,
no,
on the
not
city's
on the.
website.
Yeah, okay, but
We
on
have
the-
it.
It's not on the
cars.
logging road.
But on cars, on the logging road page or
Oh,
cars,
yeah.
I think it was, because when we had the vacancies before, we had several,
Yeah,
and I posted on the cards site,
wonderful.
and that's where I think you came in.
No,
and
I
Jeff.
actually saw it in the newspaper.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
you didn't,
yeah.
but you were on the
Yeah.
The
cards site though.
newspaper, okay.
And Jeff and a couple other people that didn't, they put in applications, but they didn't,
Yeah.
they decided to pull them. So that's another.
So, is there like a job description kind of thing, or a description?
Yeah,
of
on
it
the
that-
city website.
So you can, Britt, I can send you an email with this, so this is like the page where they apply, this is all the committee openings, but I think it's the same thing. But then under the actual bike ped page, here there's like duties and powers, which kind of gives an
Oh, okay.
overview.
Hours.
You can copy and paste this.
That, or put the link to
Yeah.
that. Okay.
Yeah, and you can put my contact information if you want, and just say if if you have questions, feel free to contact me, and I'll send you an email with all my contact information.
And is the application, did you say, is the application link on there? or-
Yeah, so it's under how do I apply for boards and committees, and then it looks like there's the same application form for all the committees, and there must be a place where you say like, I wanna, and you could probably say somewhere. Apply, and then in the application, see questions, which one do you wanna apply for, what are your interests, why are you interested, this is really a formality, it's not like someone needs to write paragraphs on paragraphs.
Can I post on the, I can do a post on the carbs page too, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We should get
Oh, here,
activity.
and there's a one that's specifically.
Need your post.
Yes.
What's carbs?
Canby area,
Recreational.
Bicycle.
yeah, but that's generally where we coordinate with them for the weekly bike ride. Rather than the club, there were only a few. It really dropped off after Tony left. Tony pulled out of the deal. He kind of coordinated things for a
And
long
now
time.
he's moved.
Now he's gone, so
Where's
it ended
he
up this summer
We
being
moved to Arizona.
Britt and Jeff and I and Jeff and.
Yeah, we need to do more,
Yeah, we need some more people.
we need to do more But like what we should do is more posting on the logging road
Yeah.
site too for the
Or even
rides.
camping out, I mean, you can do that too.
I don't do.
I know, I'm a reluctant almost to put it
I'm
on.
not a
Camping
member
now.
of Canby now.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, because it was always a lot of fun. And then most everybody here didn't do it, never went out, but it's always,
Yeah, it is
it's
fun.
always fun, you know.
Yeah.
So,
I've done it once a year.
Well, we go to taco, well, now we can't go to Waverly anymore.
I know, well, we'll see.
There's gotta be some new places sprouting up.
But it's just it's not a, it was never a steep, well, they did for a while. They used to do, they did it with two groups, and
Yeah, Thursday.
one was speed and one was just recreation, and then it just kept kind of diminishing. And so there was just, there aren't all that many people. We should, like to build it up again, you know. It's a good way to connect with people that are riding bikes around town.
Yeah. Kind of the wrong time of year to try to get that going.
No, it won't happen until spring.
I don't think that was a consideration.
Well, yeah, the reason we didn't do it tonight, Bruce, was because of the meeting.
Yeah, I know it.
Didn't sound Bruce today, no.
so
I'm sorry.
if that's it for outreach right
I
now.
was thinking something else.
Sorry,
Sorry.
go ahead.
No.
Brief update, Bruce, anything from county?
I'll hit the high points, and if you want more information, you ask me, okay? The big thing was the Oregon City McLaughlin Boulevard Enhancement Project. So that's enhancing 99E from the freeway all the way up to Kenema. Yeah, from 205 to Kenema.
Where's
And
Kenema?
Kenema is
It's
above the,
canoe building area.
yeah.
Do you know where the tunnel is?
Is it
Yeah,
top of the
okay, and you
South of the
can-
tunnel.
it's south of the tunnel, that-
It's Beer, it's where Feckin used
Yeah.
to be.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
Canadian.
See, that one does that, okay.
Also, it's right before you go.
You're not a beer
tunnel.
person.
No, I don't
More or
drink
less.
it. I
No,
haven't wondered.
it's,
So
yeah,
it's a huge
that's the
project.
still house
What are
there
they
at the
doing?
top of the
Yeah,
hill and
They're
McLaughlin.
trying
But
to
keep
make
coming
it-
south towards Canby where it dips.
It's more of a tourist draw, they're
Yeah,
just trying to
neighborhood,
enhance and
that's
improve it.
Canema.
That area.
You know, yeah, and you got parts of 99E that's over the river, I mean, it's
Well, yeah,
a
there's-
bridge.
Is that because they're getting ready for the new?
Yeah, they ever get the new thing done, it'll be.
Yeah, they get to build it, it's all in that, so it's an interesting project, it was first high glance at it. And the other thing that might be interesting, you have more on that, because I don't really have much on that besides that. And that is, Cypress County is working on an online bike map, and they're getting close to a beta version. So we'll hear about it maybe next week more. I don't think so. I don't think it's on the agenda, but that's about it. So that was about it.
When do they think they might get that up and running? In 24 sometime?
Beta. The beta might go out to the people on the committee
Yeah.
in the next couple of months.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, I right into it. So, a year, I don't know. But they're trying.
Good.
Because
Bike routes?
bike routes, it's kind of, again, I brought out the updated bike map. And so it's that version online.
Okay.
Online.
So will it include routes is it only county areas or will it include like the Canby route?
If the county route goes through Canby, it will include Canby.
Oh, okay.
For example, they have a route that goes across the ferry and back to Oregon
Oh, like
City.
you start.
And so that's it, or the route from Canby up to the top of the logging road, that's on it.
Oh, cool.
And
But it doesn't include our routes that we've made up.
But then they also have, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, the bike wayfinding, county wayfinding for bikes. And that's marked the route from Oregon City into Canby and on to Charbonneau. It comes through Territorial, New Era, Haynes Road, Territorial, and out Mike's Ridge to
I noticed new signing this year on that too.
Oh, where at? It's been there at Haynes Road.
Yeah, it was on the Haynes Road, someone was sticking up.
Yeah. Joe, Mary, kind of did that.
Yeah.
Was kind of happy with that, but it's been a few years, so maybe there's more, that we didn't see, that you said.
Top of the hill, when you turn. Maybe it's already there, it was already there.
No, you know what, that was newer. Yeah,
Okay.
good. Yeah, I noticed that. Okay.
And I have one other update, and that is the Mala River Watch. Unfortunately, has a meeting at the same time we do now, because we switched. Was that just a temporary switch, or is this?
Oh, yeah, this was our hybrid, because we weren't gonna be
Okay,
here in
all right, 'cause
November, so
I
this
couldn't make
is a
the
one-time thing.
And there was nothing really going on, except that it concerns us, down the state park, the lower river, and not we. So that's not, probably doesn't have anything to do with us.
Bruce, do you have any updates on when the county's like pet plan would be adopted?
They ran into us next. They're making a transition from, they had a consultant, and now they want to bring it in-house. And so it's kind of messy. I didn't really understand it. But, yeah,
Longer than anticipated.
yeah, and I think the consultants weren't cutting mustard. But I'm kind of trying to read between the lines what's going on. So it's kind of stalled right now.
Okay.
But that's, 2 months from now, a whole different story.
Yeah.
If that's it,
Just,
considering next meeting date,
I have a couple.
will be in, oh, yes.
So this is a burr under my saddle, it's been going on for a long time, and I've addressed it before. But when I joined the committee, we had a very involved council member. And that council member kept us connected to what was the thoughts and going on in the city council. And Emma's job is not political, so you can't be doing that. And the rest of us are civilians, some are more active than I am. But I relied on that to find out which way, what was the council thinking? Where were we in the priority list? Were we down? Were we up? Were we in the middle? Advice on which way to go? And now we got crap. We got nothing. And I move that we as a committee send a letter to the mayor and request a replacement of our city council member assigned to this committee.
a second.
And I think it needs to be strongly worded. I mean, politely, but strongly worded. Maybe in the context of perhaps the council member assigned to the committee is, has other not other priorities, but other demands on his time that don't allow him to take an active part. Now, there's one council member that I talked to, he's a friend of Greg's, and he's the only one left pretty much from the old, from the more moderate regime. And I think he would have liked to have been the liaison here, but for whatever reason, he wasn't selected. I don't know if Brian, if this was just
Does the mayor select the representative, or does the council divvy it up?
I don't.
What's the process?
Truthfully, I don't know. I wonder if it was like the seat, technically Greg's seat was replaced by our current, I don't know if it's just like seat number. I'm actually.
Well, it's obvious that,
I don't know.
I don't want to cast any aspersions on the guy, because I only met him once. But his interests are not in bicycling or pedestrian. He's into parks, I guess. He's into ball fields and things like that, as far as recreation goes. And obviously Greg was very interested in bicycling and that. And so that was unusual. We may never get an advocate like that again, but at least I'd like to have somebody that would attend meetings and find out what we're thinking and tell us what's going on in the council.
But I brought up Chip and having to start thinking out years ahead for repaving the logging road. We need a counselor that will push that agenda for us.
Right.
And if we don't have that connection,
Yeah, we're just spinning our
we're
wheels.
spinning our wheels. And, I think that's a good point, is if this committee does not have a good connection with the political connection, we are doomed to fail.
Mhm.
And we are only here in name only.
Yeah.
You have to be kind of neutral in this discussion,
Sure,
I
I
know
just
that.
have one suggestion to add, is that, when we had this, we kind of had this conversation a couple months ago, I had told, the appropriate staff members, and I believe there were some discussions, we're here now. I was told, if the problem continues, contact the city city administrator, who is now Eileen, who was previously the interim, she's been hired as the permanent. So that was the instructions I was told. I don't know if that was more intended if I, as staff, I was acting. So I don't know if you want to start with.
Well, I don't think that it would be appropriate to contact the city administrator, because they're an employee of the council.
We could address it to the mayor
Yeah,
and copy the city administrator.
Right.
Yeah,
But I think we should go to
that's-
I think to the mayor, and we all know him, I guess, I know.
Yeah.
So it's not as though we're strangers. And, you can look in there and see how long we've all been on this committee.
I feel partly responsible, not totally, but I mean, comes in and says, oh, we'll go for coffee and I'm sitting there going, yeah, too, or inviting that, and then I haven't initiated it. So I kind of
Well,
feel
yeah.
like,
Yeah, but you're not the one telling them don't come.
yeah, right,
He's choosing
right.
not to come.
Yeah,
I know he had
and
health
it is
problems,
part of
but-
I know, but
his
he was a neighbor,
responsibility.
and I tell him often, and I would remind him of the meeting. And,
Never.
he's a flake, all right? I'm gonna be quite blunt about it, he's a flake. I mean, his political views I don't care about, but he's not responsible.
No, and that's the whole thing. So I guess we have to word it so it doesn't, we're not attacking, we don't want to attack him. No point in that, that's a no.
No, that's,
But just say,
But
we need,
we haven't even seen it.
We need somebody who's involved.
we've had a years now, and there've been 2 meetings, and
Over.
it was almost like the second meeting was like lighting a fire, because we complained that we hadn't seen anybody, and showed up in one meeting, and then that was, okay,
I never seen
here's
it
I did it
again.
again, and that's it.
so who wants to write? I got a draft letter to write now.
Okay,
So
I'm write the letter.
I can suggest that Russ has the passion
I'll tell you
here,
what,
and Russ should do it.
okay, I'll tell you what, I'll try to work something up, and I'll copy everybody,
Okay.
so you can see what I've written, but it should go out from
Mindy.
It has to come.
Yeah,
from
so
that.
once I think that's something we could all approve, sign off on online, couldn't we? No?
I don't think so.
No, because any if you
Okay,
were
okay.
to email
Okay, so we just send
Yeah.
Mindy our ideas then.
I
I
would
moved that
say-
Mindy write the letter.
I'll write the
Yeah,
letter.
Let's bat it back and forth.
And then
You
we
pick
can-
the first draft. Mindy, then we can bring it here and finalize it.
Yeah, so unless you'd like to, I would say wait for the next meeting to finalize a draft
Okay.
that you
Yeah.
write, or kind of tonight can agree on like the high level bullet points and entrust whoever is the
Watch her
deliverer.
show up to the next meeting.
Okay, okay, and then,
I'll be happy to write
he'll
it.
probably show up the next meeting. And then, I would suggest at that point, we drop it from the agenda.
No, I think,
No, actually, it would be.
I think, let him defend himself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
This is how we feel.
yeah.
We've
You're
only
right,
seen
you're
once.
right.
We've only seen once.
Almost like the cowardly point out that, the
No.
cowards.
I will just say the next meeting is not till January.
yeah,
So-
the next meeting is
Something to
January 9th.
consider. I think.
January 9th?
And I
Yeah,
can easily
January 9th.
get that taken care of.
And the minute taker is?
So I
Me.
will
Russ.
get that. I'll have a draft next meeting. I bring
Oh, we didn't vote on it.
draft.
One other order of business thing that Cliff had mentioned at before everyone had gotten here, is that you may have noticed that I've started sending out the agenda. I'm basically just copying and pasting the previous month's agenda minutes. But I'm curious if folks want to have more of a collaborative agenda creation. I'm not sure if, anyone feels strongly
Well,
about.
and it can be a call for agenda items too.
Yes, so
to
kind of, I
add
could
to
send
that,
out.
is usually what,
Okay, a week, we do, okay. So a week prior to the agenda being public, so 2 weeks prior to the meeting, I would send out an email saying, hey, let me know if you have any agenda items. You have a week to respond, if you don't respond, you bring it up.
That sounds very easy.
How has it working so far for the agenda? That's maybe,
Yeah, so you,
I mean, I kind of contribute a lot and it's kind of piecemeal and it's sometimes not as orderly as it could be. Is that okay? Is it functioning okay?
oh, you mean like reorganizing how?
Yeah, like
Oh, sure,
we
yeah.
were both,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
And
I'm
we're,
happy to put you above.
I don't mean that.
We put you in the-
No, what I'm saying is, we both came to
Yeah, very similar.
a similar
Yes,
point.
I
Instead,
agree.
it was by person versus subject,
I see.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
It is
And-
really hard when you're doing the minutes to organize them. into-
Yeah.
I know, and that's why when we did it, I could see we're both gonna talk about the same thing. It's kind of like,
Maybe-
let's get,
I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No,
Maybe
go
we
ahead.
just make like an umbrella, like policy updates,
yes.
policy and project updates, maybe, something more vague that means that it's not attached to somebody, but what do you think?
Yeah,
about
that sounds
Or is that too
no,
vague?
I just,
No.
it's either we're gonna have to really delve into the agenda more,
Yeah,
but it's really for the minute taker. If it's ordering for the minute taker, I'd say good.
yeah.
I don't think we're having
I
any,
think at the very least, we should have the staff and council update and the Clackamas County updates, one after the other, because they are often similar, right? So instead
Yeah,
of,
we
as a
could
minute taker,
swap that around.
we could put,
For sure.
that's better.
we could put brief update after
Yeah.
staff, or if you want to go first, Bruce, I'm happy to let you know.
And
No, it's just, we both have the same subject. Let's not
Yeah,
do one
let
and
me
wait
think
to
about
the
how
end.
to
That's-
organize that better for
But I
the,
kind of jumped on it with you. I was kind of like, okay, let's
Yeah.
get through this subject.
yeah.
Hopefully it comes before you.
Ladies first.
Okay.
We just have a news category.
Okay, otherwise, any further on? In that case, next time it'll be Russ as taking minutes on January 9th. And otherwise, we will adjourn this meeting at 7:44. If that's, do I need a motion and all
Yes, you do.
that? Okay, I'll take a motion.
What should do here?
Thank you, Mike. Second.
Third.
All in favor? Unanimous? Sounds great. So 7:45, okay.
On the shot.
Thank you.